Hi and welcome to another round of Redecor design reviews and tutorials here today with this winning video or winning design for a bathroom. I'm gonna show you what the competition was, what the challenge was, and what my design principles were so that you can learn to make better designs yourself. In this bathroom challenge, one given were the background tiles, so that's why you see a lot of ancient tiles here from many of the other users, and they of course make that room look pretty much outdated. There are certain tiles like this one which are a little bit more contemporary when used properly, but the design that eventually won was from me here. And even though the bathroom tiles are old, by combining it with modern and bright materials, they have a quite contemporary look and feel. Also, you see the natural white here, which I think was also a given, makes it not look like very old, but more a little bit like used, more believable. And even the brown tones here from that natural white selection on the corners, they are very well caught up here with the the napkin and the other woods that's in the room. I try to keep the rest of the colors minimal. Also here this picture very minimal to not take away anything from that centerpiece, and I think that's what worked well. I'll quickly run through the other designs. Second place, also rather good design from a design perspective. We see that the blue here from the tiles is reflected in the wood. We have the chrome, also some blue here on the towel, and yes, okay, this one here maybe could have been also blue. I don't know where that pink is coming from. Maybe the player still had that. In this design, now the window frame becomes more prominent. Since there's nothing happening in the window and we already have some weight here on the right side due to the vase and the picture, I would have kept that window frame simple white to stay out of the way. A very beautiful choice of ceramics here. A little bit more blue than the tiles, but that's all right. The black lampshade seems a little bit too modern for that old style. Here I would have tuned it down a little bit. Next design is very woody, very woody brownish. This design would have been way stronger if there was no texture on the vase, so just a simple white vase here, for example. It's hardly even to see, even though the material is beautiful, but with that very strongly colored background, the vases should have just been simple. You know, you have to choose what you want to emphasize, and it shouldn't be everything. Also maybe some white appliances here, just to add a little bit of contrast to this, and that design would have been way better. Good choice of picture here, that's very blending in, so that's all right. Yeah, here we have a lot of contrast work going on. Very modern design, but it just simply does not work together with those ancient tiles, right? And that's what I said before. I mean, it was not an easy challenge because a lot of materials were given, but then in that case, I do like the designs that pick up on the blue better than this black one. Here, these tiles would have been amazing to do something more contemporary with, especially since they work so well with the orchids. But the user failed to use that purple color somewhere else. Maybe a little bit here in the picture, but how about a more pink or purple vase? or yeah, even small accessories like these things here. Certainly white appliances, not gray, so people can see them. Or here you could even go with the strong black and white because it's not such an ancient material. So this could have worked with this kind of accessories and sink area. But here, this granite, it's just too cluttered. So this would have been a good keep it simple kind of design. Yeah, here we are somehow in a star field, totally zooming out. It's a cohesive design. I mean, we see all those crazy and expensive black vases and ceramics and marble and tiles. So the user went all in on this design. Sad to say that it was maybe a little bit too much eventually to take in. What could the user have done better? Maybe by keeping other elements simple. I mean, here the tiles certainly are the eye catcher, so I would have gone with a very black, simple black, maybe a little bit reflective surface here, and potentially even simple black vase, even though this one is quite beautiful. And since we have those pink orchids, that's good, nicely reflected on the towel. Could have also been reflected here in the ceramic, and that would have been a little bit more harmonious. Of course, not such a bright pink like I picked here now, but just illustrating it for you. Yeah, this design, very clean, very simple. The tiles certainly are not everybody's taste, and that's maybe why it didn't work out. Otherwise, I would say it's a good design. There's sufficient contrast here for the appliances. There's nothing else that's screaming for attention. The ceramics are beautifully harmonious here. The towel as well, the pictures in the background, a little bit in the green with the farn. The surface here, yeah, it still makes sense. It's not too contrast rich, the barley white. So that all works. The color, the ancient marble of the wooden paneling, maybe that could have been a little bit whiter or brighter, but sometimes it's also bad luck, you know. And as said, the tiles were maybe the wrong choice in the beginning. Yeah, here we have a contemporary design again. Very beautiful tiles, and they really want to make it simple, keep it simple. That's what the user did here as well, with the chrome, adding some light elements. It might have worked better with a more, with marble or a more high quality surface rather than the chrome. We're not in a hotel or something, so this is supposed to be a happy bathroom. This is more kind of a functional bathroom, and the happiness of this little bit of greenish yellow of the silicone that could have been picked up by the vases, for example. They're a little bit too gray. Yeah, here we have again a beautiful high contrast modern sink and furniture ensemble, also with the black windowsill, super cool. Something like this together with the more contemporary tiles that we saw before, that would have certainly been a winner. A little bit Japanese style if you want. So if you remember, let's just go back to this design here that had already the pink and white tiles. Now with a proper framing like this and the pink ceramics, I think that would have been a good choice. Nice choice of the Budapest photo. It has those pink color scheme, but it's still a photo. But here, certainly the choice of the background tiles is what just doesn't fit from a style perspective, and the tiles are ugly, old, ancient. So either you go with some more ancient style for the rest, even though it's not your style, but you have to make it cohesive, or you choose a different, more contemporary tiles, like I did here. So contemporary tiles, contemporary furniture, that just works. Now let's have a look how I did it. So here we see the design process. And as said, there were a couple of tiles that we needed to take, and that's why it wasn't the other user's choice, unfortunately. But we did have a choice of some more contemporary tiles, and I early on felt that's the only way to make an impact here, because nobody wants to look at those old tiles anymore today. So I'm purchasing a bunch of beautiful diamond-shaped tiles, even though they're quite expensive. But sometimes that's what you need to do. And they define for me the rest of the room. So since they are quite bright, I'm going for a bright look. We have as given colors the pink of the orchids, we have the green of the fern. Pink and blue go well together, so I'm starting off with some blue elements. Blue also good in a bathroom. There's water associated to it, right? So that's a good start. And as always, I try to get as much material out into this room as possible, because that just helps me to get a better understanding of it. If everything is just the sketchy white, then yeah, I can't do much. Now here I'm trying with blue window frames, thought a little bit of grease association, had some wood, some warm, but since the tiles are so subtle, I feel any kind of color is immediately taking attention away from the bathroom and sucking it out of the window, and that's what I want to avoid. So that's why I settled quickly with the white windows. For the vase, again, I feel any strong color is just too strong and takes too much attention. So I'm looking for a white, bright material, but with some interesting texture. I could have gone with plain white as well, but this crackled white works quite well with this ancient or a little bit used look of the sink surface, so I feel that's a good combination. Now for the material choice of the main piece of furniture, I'm staying in the color scheme. I also try contrasts or other colors, but that's oftentimes hard to win a competition for, because some people don't like blue, some people don't like pink, so you really lose half of your voters just because of personal choice. If that was a custom project, of course you can ask the person what's your favorite color and then use that and still end up with a beautiful bathroom. But eventually, in order to please most of the other users, I feel I need to reduce and find a common denominator here. So I'm playing around with different bright wood tones. Wood just because it makes the room feel a little bit more warm, and I feel due to the flowers there's some playfulness, some warmth in the room, so it shouldn't be just steel and cold and gray. This wood is quite nice, so I go with it, and now I'm picking a piece of art that again should not take too much attention, and I go with a subtle choice that it's hardly noticeable when you don't really look at it. I want people to rather focus on the fern and particularly on the mirror and what's really the functional centerpiece of that room. Now I'm returning to the floor and make some fine tuning here based on the materials that are soft set already. So first I'm looking at some brighter colors here, but I also understand anything that has a lot of texture will just compete with the tiles since they're so subtle and I want them to be central. So I'm settling for a monocolor floor, and now the question is only the color. I could go with white, but I feel the subtle contrast is quite interesting. And if you notice, there is also this picture on the right hand side that has a dark blue sea and then a bright sky. So in a way, I feel it would be nice to recreate that atmosphere or feeling of standing on the ocean and looking in this, into the horizon. So this mineral gray is a good combination of the picture, the mirror, and the flowers for me. Returning to where I started now, double checking on the vase, on the windowsills, just to make sure it's all well balanced, nothing is screaming too much for attention. So that's why I had reduced the cracks on the vase momentarily, and also trying now with the towel to find a color that's just matching what else is in that room. And here I pick the wood as a defining element, since the flowers can change and the wood will stay, so the brown works quite well, and it also feels like a high quality material, which is always nice to have. Finally, for the window, as said before, if I make it different colored, it takes a lot of attention because it's taking so much space on the right side of that picture. And after some try and error, I'll happily return back to the white wood. But I still recommend to try it out, to go over everything once more once you feel you're done, just to make sure that you didn't overlook a good choice. And play with contrast can sometimes be interesting if you want a room that's really catching attention, but it also depends on what you want to achieve with this room. And here I wanted to have a calm bathroom, something where you where there's not too much stress, too much energy going on. And as said before, it's because of those round shapes, because of the flowers, that I feel that pleases that client. I hope you learned something. The design is complete and it won, as you saw, so I'm happy with it.